We're live. Good morning on this bright, sunny Sunday morning.
We're here in our undisclosed location
Right.
on the heartland, the omphalos, the belly button of America.
We are counting the 22nd day, the 22nd day of the Omer as we move through Shir HaShirim, the song of all songs. Love poetry in the Bible, and we are going to finish chapter 5 today. But first, we count a little Omer, right? We count each day as we move through from Passover to Shavuot, each day getting a little bit closer to Sinai. Ready? And what?
Oh, here. Okay.
So let's see. Are we in a different week? So 22 days. We're counting the third week. Yeah. We did. We were in. Actually, this. We must still be in Tiferet then, right?
Oh my goodness!
What happened?
I got to plug in my machine.
Oh, okay. I think there's one over there.
Yeah.
You see it?
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. So each week has a different sensibility. The first was Chesed. The second was Gevura. So Chesed, this unlimited, unconditional love. Gevura, I really like, rather than strength, Jimmy defines that as restraint. You can give and then you can hold. And they're both important. It's that balance that allows us to love in whole and healing ways. You just can't, you can give too much. You can give too much of yourself away. So Gevura is important. But it's never just one, and it's also never just two. So the third week has been Tiferet, right? The third one was Tiferet, beauty. And right here. Plug it in there. So each one is, beauty. Each one is paired with another sensibility, another attribute of godliness. And then there's always the third, because it's never just one, it's never just two, and it's never really just three, but at least we have three. So
Okay, we need more plugs.
We need more plugs. You could probably take something off. I don't know.
Sorry.
Okay, so we are gonna be all plugged in. There we go. We got it. Okay, over here. It reaches. That's good.
The first one.
The first one? Oh, sorry. There we go. I got it. Okay, there we go. It's in. And so we must still be in Tiferet? We're in week 3 still?
No, Netzach.
We're in Netzach, so we're entering the fourth week, right?
Yeah.
Oh, confused.
We're
starting the fourth week. So the fourth week is Netzach. You think you know, right? So there's this boldness. And actually, it's interesting because that's one of the things I was thinking about with our Shulamite woman. In this, they ask her, what's so special about this guy? Why him? There's so many. What is it about him? And she says, it is what it is. It's who I love. And sometimes that's the answer. You think you know. And you have to go with that, right? You just go with it. You go with it. You go with it. You think you know, and you go with it. And that's the week we're entering right now, right?
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so you ready to count the Omer? You have a poem?
Do you have a poem?
Should have been more prepared, but been a busy morning over here. been a busy morning. And we're about to count this 22nd day, 2-2, of the Omer. Bittersweet day.
Here
over
we
here. Bittersweet day. Not sure who made up this idea of Mother's Day. Probably the people who make money on cards and flowers, but it is what it is. It is what it is, you know.
So let's begin by saying a prayer for healing, no?
No, we do prayer for healing usually at the
I mean,
end.
prayer for teaching.
Studying. Prayer for learning. How about that?
What's the
Okay,
date
let's
today?
learn.
The regular date.
It's the 8th, May 8th, 2022, the 22nd day of the counting of the Omer.
Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go.
בערב נא אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו ובפי עמך בית ישראל ונחיה אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה ברוך אתה אדוני המלמד תורה לעמו ישראל. Amen. Oh God, make the teachings pleasant on our lips and the lips of all of those that come into our circles so we can spend a time in, come into our screens, so we can spend a time in learning for pleasure, for the transformative possibilities in learning.
Sorry about
for
that.
the door that opens onto growth through learning.
Yep.
Through the gate that opens all the 49 gates as we move toward our durable wisdom, freedom 4, when we receive our book on the 50th day. Blessed are you who teaches to your people in this fashion. Amen.
Amen.
Counting, we're in the 4th week now. Chesed within Netzach.
Netzach. Netzach is the week. Every day we have a little more Netzach.
Netzach this week. And today, the first day of the week, the energy, specific energy that belongs to this day is love.
Chesed.
I'm talking love. Love within Netzach, talking love.
Jimmy listens to this guy.
Don't say it. Love within continents, love.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Second triad.
Okay.
Confident. Knowing tomorrow will be a moderation. You have moved, though, into your body, your lower regions into action. And just beneath loving kindness, the works of your hands. Chesed, love, gevura, restraint, tiferet, beauty. Netzach, second triad. You think you know. Hod, you don't.
That's next week.
Yesod, foundation, body wisdom. Malchut, spigot, the spigot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitsheh b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'sfirat ha'omer. היום 22 יום שהם 3 שבועות ויום אחד לעומר. Today is day 22 of the Omer, which is 3 weeks and 1 day of the Omer.
Yeah.
Bless our president, our vice president, and all their noble retinue.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Dr.
M teaches the Omer. Almost all your certainty is misplaced. Found in its origins toward love, chesed, loving kindness overflowing, bordered by gevura, restraint. lifted and balanced into Tiferet beauty with Netzach, a renewal of confidence, second pass. You think you know, you don't know. Hold on, speaks Ode, settling into synthesis, Yesod in your body with Malchut. The spigot is yours, open, not open. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Ready now.
All right.
Ready now.
Okay, so we've counted the Omer, and now we're going to finish chapter 5 of Shir, HaShirim, the song of all songs. So just to remind us, you know, the woman begins, and she said, and then she wakens to her lover knocking, and he says, come on, open up. But she hesitates because she's not dressed, and she doesn't want to get her feet dirty. So she takes her time, and what happens when she takes her time is that when she opens to him, he has slipped away. She looks for him everywhere but doesn't find him, and she's assaulted. She goes out where it's not safe, and he's not there to protect her, so she is abused. And she tells the daughters in verse 8, please, daughters of Jerusalem, find him, tell him that no matter what's happened, I am in the fever of love. She just loves him so much. Swear to me, she says. Now, what's interesting, I think, what's interesting to me, and I know you did this, what's interesting to me in this verse 8 is it feels like a real dialogue here. It doesn't feel like, kind of that chorus, right? It feels like she's saying, please, please, if you find him, what are you going to tell him? Tell him I'm just lovesick. Tell him I just can't breathe without him. That nothing is complete without him. And, she's lost and lovesick. Will you tell him? That's verse 8. It doesn't feel performative there. It feels like real dialogue, right? And then in verse 9, they say, what is with you? Like, what is it about this guy that's so special? And, there's where I can really see the rabbis making this about God and Israel.
So you think it's ironic, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what is it with him?
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
What is it about this guy?
What's it about this guy? And then she says, she describes the physical, but I think the physical is, just like we have with the breastplate, just like we have with all things. The physical is a mirror to the inner.
Oh, yes. This
life,
is where we
right?
left off, by the way.
Yeah, good. So, my beloved, Dodi, Tzach, right?
Tzach.
Yeah.
Ivory. White.
Ivory. So and
say
red,
ivory.
right? Adom. So maybe milk and wine, right?
Oh, that's beautiful.
There's a nice thing about milk and wine here.
Oh, right, yeah.
Commentary, right? That milk, he's my sustenance. He's both my milk that I need to be healthy, to be whole, but he's also my wine, my intoxication. He's both for me. He's everything for me.
That's better because, if your mind is corrupted, you could be reading these poems of old lyrics from rock and roll songs.
Well, maybe they misunderstood.
I'm wondering about
right.
that.
I know.
Please, please me. Oh, yeah, like I please you.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I think this goes deeper. I really do.
I hope so.
Feels like it to me.
But, you could, well, anyway, I love this take on the intention behind these verses. That it's a little ironic. What is it with this one?
That's what I read.
I love
you know?
it. That's
Right,
great.
That's what I read. And then, you know,
And then it goes to a long
why
description.
and then the last part of that is, and why you dragging us into this? What do you need us for? And she does need that because she's living in this, a society where if she goes out on her own, she's beaten. She can't do this on her own. She needs her sisters, right?
I think that's really great reading. I love that.
And then verse 10. Okay, now we're up to verse 11, right? Or really 10. This Dagul, like from Degel flag, right?
Yeah, like the
Mhm.
sign, like his
Mhm.
sign. Like
he's 1 in a million for
what
me.
appears to
He's
everybody.
1 in a million. For me, he's 1 in a million. For you, he's not nobody. Maybe not nothing special, but for me, he's 1 in a million. And isn't that the truth in love? Nobody sees what you see. Nothing. I'm not. No, it's true for a lot of people, right? Nobody
All right,
sees what you
now
see.
if this gets too saucy, I'm going to end with I wrote a new one
Uh-oh.
yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, we may have to go there. But verse 11, because you have one of your favorite things here, you have one of those words that only
Hapax legomenon.
appears once, right?
Yeah, but you also have this you have a description of him, this full description of him that is Ketem Paz starts with like gold, like fine gold or something like that. His head.
Mm-hmm.
This phrase is taken up by one of my favorites, Ibn Lavi. Ibn Lavi's text on the Zohar
Mm-hmm.
is called Ketem Paz.
Mm-hmm.
I think the text has been lost, but we don't know much about Ibn
Wow.
Lavi, but we know that he wrote a commentary on the Zohar.
It's what
Yeah.
a beautiful
I always
image. I
thought
love
that was so wonderful.
Wow.
Ketem Paz.
It's nice. And is that the only place it occurs here?
I'm not sure about that.
A figure of speech for excellency, beginning with his head, she describes in matchless imagery,
Some sort of fine gold,
like a
precious.
crown, right? Precious
And
stones.
this form has a name in Middle Eastern poetry, in Arabic poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Wasif, it's called. It's
Mhm.
complete description of your beloved. That's what we have now.
Wow. Complete description. Don't you just love that?
And his locks.
Mhm.
This is also an unusual word. It's only used here. This part of the song.
Talim.
His hair
Talim.
is Tal Talim. Here's a nice Hapax legomenon, only appears once. We think it means curly. His hair is naturally curly. And
Did you see what Fox says?
black as a raven.
Fox, based on the Akkadian Taltalu, is the fronds of a date palm.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, Ketem Paz. So let's see here. Pairing the two nouns, pure gold. It appears in one other place, in
Chronicles.
Second Chronicles. That's
Right.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So this Talim, something is.
Tal Talim.
He's got curly hair and his.
Yeah.
It's very,
And it's black.
Black
As a raven.
So that must have been beautiful to her, right?
Betcha.
And then verse 12.
His eyes. This time his eyes are like doves.
Yeah. That
They're not
we
doves.
haven't had that, right? Yeah.
His eyes
So
are
his
like
eyes
doves.
are like doves beside the water brooks,
Alafi
washed with
mine.
milk and fitly set.
This is used also in Psalm 42.
Mhm.
Gayal taroig alafi kemaim kenafshita saroi.
So they milk
Streams of
and
water.
plenty. We often get milk and honey, right? Halavo dvash that comes up a lot, but here we have this milk of plenty, right? Washed with milk again. This notion of plenty. And so for her, he he's enough. He fills her. He fills her.
Mhm.
He fills her. His cheeks are like a bed of spices for her, as banks of sweet herbs. His lips are as lilies
His cheeks,
dropping
yeah.
with flowing myrrh.
Like
We
a
got that
tower of
myrrh back.
spices,
We have to
towers of
find some myrrh.
spices. Yeah.
We're gonna have to find this myrrh.
His lips,
Mm,
lilies,
lilies,
dripping,
nice, dripping.
flowing myrrh.
Mm, yeah, I mean everything about him
Yadav, his
physically
hands,
is lush. It's just lush. His hands are as rods of gold.
golden rods, his hands.
Yeah, set with beryl.
Zahav, Milulaim, but Tarshish.
Beryl.
Tarshish is interesting here. You have to ask Jake about this. Some sort of,
Yeah.
it could be a gold stone, it could be yellow jaspers.
They have topaz.
It appears in lists of gems,
Yeah, yeah.
so we're not sure exactly what it means. It could be some sort of chrysolite. If that's Jacob.
They call it topaz.
Mm.
You know, I mean, just all these wonderful spices and and again, the thing about spices is that they're healing. They're not just for scent, right? Spices are because they awaken something in you, and also they're healing, right? They're used for healing.
But here they seem to be the affectations or the instruments of desire and of attraction.
So just as we use the Keturah to draw God into the world, so we use our bodily spices to draw each other. Kind of, it's very animalistic, right? It's like animals use their sense to attract each other. That seems to be a real, right?
Yeah. Tarshish. Oh, here's that word again. Me'av eshet shein. So his innards. In this case, though, I think we're using it a different way. Eshet shein. This is also a heptaxlegomenon.
Yeah, biblical hex. The other thing. Oh, I know. I
Like
wanted
his
to point out-
body. Here we're using it as an external sense.
Jimmy, I had a
His
question
belly
for you.
on the in an external way.
Speaking of that, could you go back for a minute to verse 8? The dating of this is most people that we're reading agree that it is post-biblical literature, right? I mean, maybe some of it is taken from other things, right?
Yeah.
Because it is a mishmash of
And there's
a
so many
lot.
sources, it seems.
But you see what I noticed, and this is something you study. So in verse 8, you've got
Yeah.
that if imma. If you find him, what will you say?
Uh-huh.
Imma. That seems to me like a Talmudic or Mishnaic kind of a imma.
Well, I think
If what?
it's definitely more familiar.
Uh-huh.
It's more familiar form of biblical literature than the rest of this language in syntax and vocabulary.
Right.
You can see how much of the rest of the language in here is obscure, unfamiliar.
Mm. So we want to get to your poem. So let's finish this up.
So his belly,
mouth.
like some sort of polished ivory or something, like mi'ulefet.
Yeah.
Mi'ulefet, which is laid or overlaid or something like that. Sapirim. Sapir.
Yeah. Those
Sapir.
sapphires, right? The
Or
sapphires.
lapis.
Right.
Or lapis. And this also is another one of those strange possible cognates with Sanskrit.
Right.
Hi.
A nice.
What do you got to say?
We're all set. His legs are as pillars of marble. Now we're finally down to his legs. Set upon sockets of fine gold. His aspect is like Lebanon,
Yes.
excellent as the cedars.
Oh, yeah.
He stands tall.
And here's
And then
again.
finally, his mouth is most sweet. Oh, he's just lovely. I love this guy. This is my beloved. This is my friend. I mean, that's a beautiful
He's
verse, right?
completely lovely.
Ze dodi v'ze ro'i. There's that
My
word
intimate.
again.
My dodi,
He's
my
my beloved,
intimate.
and he's my friend. So that's the attraction here.
Betcha, baby.
It's not just physical. He's my beloved, and he's my friend. I trust him.
I'm gonna read that
I
poem.
mean, I think
tomorrow.
that's the beauty. Oh, really? Okay. So we finished chapter 5. I would read it again and again. It's just so beautiful. So many of the words in here are words you've heard in songs. Ze dodi v'ze re'i. This is my beloved. This is my friend. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do a Misha Berach, a healing prayer. Thanks for being with us on this May 8th, 2022, the 22nd day of the counting of the Omer. We offer a Misha Berach, a healing
What's the
prayer.
Before it's a boot. For the healing of the spirit and the healing of the body, for those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael. On my left, the angel Gabriel. In front of me, the angel Uriel behind me. Raphael above my head, Shekhinah. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, great healer. Amen.
Amen. Certainly for all the
Amen.
people of the Ukraine. All the parents who have lost children. Today is a tough day. For the people with cancer and Alzheimer's and COVID, that seems to be on the rise again.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
We pray for healing for the broken heart of the world.
That's right. Hello, Diane. Hello, Larry. Hi, Rick. So we'll see you next time.
Rick, sending you special healing for this coming week,
Our
day
intimates.
at a time.
Ciao, babies.
Thanks for joining us.